although he's perfectly capable. Good morning, class. Lesson number 3. Multiplication of 2 binomials. So last class we took one term and times it by a couple, or 3 or 4. Now we're going to do 2 terms times 2 terms. Okay? I don't mind. I can show this on these algebra tiles. I'll just show it briefly. Do you see how this is x plus 3 up here being multiplied by x plus 2? Does that make sense? So if I told you to fill this out, you understand how to fill this out? You draw a line like this, then you draw a line like this. You follow the dimensions up the top blocks, and then you fill it out. Then we draw a line here, then a line there, and we fill that out. You get it? And then we draw a line like this, and we draw a line this way, and we fill it out. Then over here, we draw a line here, like that, and you go, oh, I know what these are. You good? Does that make sense how to make that? And there's no little pieces sticking out. I don't have one long block and a bunch of little guys at the end. It's all working. And then, of course, you have to decide if they're positive or negative. So are they positive? Yes. So then you fill them in, right? Because they should all be the same. So it's all colored in. If they're filled in, if they're gray, that means it's positive times positive. Okay. And if you actually have blocks, of course, you push them all together and they make one nice little rectangle. So anybody know what my answer is for this question? Hurry up.
X squared 5x plus 6.
Right on. See it? Good to go? Do I have to do any more of these?
No.
We understand them? We can skip it? Okay. By the way, before we turn the page, though, x squared plus 5x plus 6. How would we get that if we didn't use algebra tiles? Can anyone predict how to do this? Like, how do we do this up here? You can see how you got the x's. Can you see how you got the 6?
Yeah.
Do you see how you got the 5?
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, let me do this one. I'll just write this one down. This is x plus 4, right? And this is 2x plus 1, right? Do you want me to tell you what the answer to that would be? Well, can you figure it out? It'd be 2x squared. And then what?
Plus 4x.
Just 4 x's?
5x.
5 x's?
Plus 4x plus 5.
So 9 x's? Yeah. And then how many little individual blocks would you have? Can you see it?
2x squared.
Well, we could draw it. You have all these things, right? Then you have this. Then you have some more of these. And then you have one of these. And then you have all these little guys, right? So do I have it right? 2x squared plus 9x plus 4. And of course, they'd all be filled in because they're all positive, right? Okay, let's turn the page and let me show you how to do it without algebra tiles. Actually, this is kind of a fun way to do it. I had some students. Actually, Mr. Kwok, both the Kwok boys did it this way. So in Singapore, if you anybody remember the Kwok boys, Aiden and Ryan? In Singapore, I think this is how they taught them to multiply this. So it was really cool. And they chose to do this, and I think I had a couple more students who didn't learn this very well in their previous school, and when they got here, they chose to do it this way. So x plus 3 times x plus 2. Here's the deal. Everything in the first bracket, x plus 3, everything has to be multiplied by x plus 2. So everything has to be multiplied by the x, everything has to be multiplied by the 3. So this little chart is a kind of a cool way because you can again, it's about organizing your thoughts. So if you see it, they wrote the x plus 3 up here and the x plus 2 down there. And then they started multiplying them together. So x times x was x squared. And x times 3 was 3x. And then they did it this way. right? And then they get their 6. You see it? But then what you have to do when you're all done making this little chart is you have to go combine your like terms. And see, these are your like terms. The 2x and the 3x are the like. So you put them together and make it 5x. So let's just do a couple. So if we were going to use a diagram like before, make your little chart. By the way, leave this top corner empty. That's important that you leave the top corner of your chart empty. And then put your 5x and your minus 6 there, and your 2x and your plus 1 down there. It doesn't really matter which binomial goes on which side. What's important is that you leave the top left-hand corner of your x and o block. See, I just did this thing for x's and o's, right? Making your chart, draw the x and o's, but leave your top block empty. Okay, now if we multiply them together, we'll have 5x times 2x, which is what? 10x squared. So this is just an organizational tool, this little chart that I'm doing right here. And then 2x times a negative 6 is negative 12x. You good? Make sense? And then I'll switch colors. Then we could do it again. We could say 5x times 1 is 5x, and negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. So you have multiplied everything in the first binomial times everything in the second. Now we just have to do what? Combine like terms. So you're combining your terms are here. So our final answer would be 10x squared minus 7x minus 6. Final answer. Not too bad, right? Okay, let's do the next one. So let's draw your x and o block. And this top left corner is empty. You good? Throw in your a squared. Don't forget to put the signs where they belong in your negative 5. You must take the sign that's in front of the term and multiply them all together. A squared times a squared. A squared times a squared. If you're multiplying and the bases are the same, keep the base and add the exponent, so a to the 4th power. Agreed?
Yep.
And then minus 5a squared minus 8a squared, and then a plus 40. Do you agree? Okay, do you have to combine anything together? Yeah, we do. So remember your answer is in here, right? This is where your answer is, in there. So let's go, final answer would be a to the, why won't this work? Huh. I don't know sometimes. Okay, I'll go back up here. A to the 4th, and then what? Minus 13a squared, do you agree? A to the 4th minus 13a squared plus 40. Final answer. Because all you have to combine are these terms here. Right? Those are the only like terms. Okay, you get it? Could you do that on your own?
Yeah.
Okay, go. Do the next one on your own. Quick. Do C. I'll do a flippity to see someone who can answer for me. you ready? Anybody got an answer? Kind of. Okay, I'm doing it on here. Here. You're my phone video over here. Abigenesis. Here are the names. What'd you get for an answer? All you could be is wrong. We're not worried about being wrong. Okay, I'll send down what you get.
I got 29 QP plus 3P.
Wait.
Sorry.
29
QP
QP
plus 3P to the power of 2 plus 18 Q to the power of 2.
Q squared.
Yeah.
Okay, I have no idea. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nailed it, Abby. Did you get that? Yes? Okay, excellent work. Good job. Anybody need me to show how you did that? Yes, did you not get it? Okay, I'm going to put 3P and 2Q there. And I'm going to put P and 9Q there. Now you can arrange them how you want, but that's just what I'm going to do. So when I multiply them together, I'll get 3P squared there. I'll get 2PQ there. I put the PQ first because I put it in alphabetical order. And then for my 9Q and my 3P, that'll be 27 PQs. And then my last block, I'll have the 9 times 2 is 18. Q is Q squared. Does that make sense? And then last step is just go combine your PQ terms together. So I would copy down 3P squared plus 29 PQs plus 18 Q squared. Make sense? Does that help, Paige?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you know that you can do this same diagram X and O process thing if you just have to go 32 times 34?
Really?
Yeah, you can. So long multiplication, I mean, people would argue about which is faster, but do you know that you can split this into 30 and 2 and 30 and 4? And then multiplying numbers that don't have, like 30 times 30 is the 9 with 2 zeros on the end of it, correct? And then 2 times 30 is 60. 30 times 4 is 120. 2 times 4. So this multiplication happens really fast. And you just go add them all together. So 900,088. I don't know if you like it. It's kind of fascinating. I was like, wow, okay. Interesting. So if they told you to do it, you could go 40 and 3 and 50 and 1, right? Well, let's just do this real quick, just for fun. And then 40 times 50 is 20 with 2 zeros on the end. Do you know how I did that? Like the 4 times the 5 is the 20, and then there's a 0 here and a 0 there, correct? 3 times 50 is 150. We have a 40 and we have a 3. Now you just have to add them all together. So 2,193. Pretty cool, huh? Is that right? 2,193, yeah. Fun fact, you can do that. Okay, I'm not going to spend much time on that though, because that's not the point of our problem. Okay, turn the page. The other way to do multiplying two binomials, I've showed you how to do it using algebra tiles. I've showed you how to use it doing that little chart thing, the exponential chart, or you can do it using the distributive property. The distributive property is probably what I go to the most often, because I've never done that little chart thing before. That was kind of cool, but that was new to me. So what you do when you have the distributive property is the same thing applies. Okay, check this out. Everything in here, x plus 3, has to be multiplied by the second bracket. Nobody gets left out. So what you do is you cover up the 3, and you take the x. You take the x times everything over there. So cover this up, if I could cover it up, and you would get x squared plus 2x. Agreed? Then you cover up the x, not the plus sign. Just cover up the x. And you take the 3 times everything over there. So you have plus 3x plus 6. Right? Because 3x, 6. And then you just combine those two terms together. Done deal. And that's pretty quick and it's pretty easy. Yeah. That's why most people will end up doing this. Not all, but. Okay, let's do B. Take the first term, A, times everything over in the other bracket. So cover up your -7 and take A times those things. So what would you get? 2a squared minus A, if you covered up the 7. Agreed? So I called this rainbows. Do your rainbows first. And then smiles. Take the -7 times it by the 2a. 14a, -14a. Writing this down, Cal?
No, I find it's easier for me to watch it.
And then you're gonna write it down. And then -7 times -1 is +7. Now write it down. Quickly. Otherwise, you have nothing to look back to. When you go home, you don't know what to do. You have nothing to look back to. Last step. Combine your like terms. So your last step, you're going to go combine your 2a squared doesn't have anything to go with, but your -a, -14 makes -15a plus 7, final answer. And that's what we do over and over and over. Take the first term times everything. Then take the second term times everything. So I'm going to do one more of these. Which one do you want to do? Quick. D? E. Okay, let's do E. All right? Take the first term times everything in the second bracket. So imagine that the -1 is not there. So cover it up. Then take -8 or 9a squared times that. So do your sign, your number, your letter. Okay, so we're going to get 45. A to the 5. That's doing this term times that term. Then we're still working on the 9a squared, which times it by the +6. So what's my sign? Plus 54a squared. Okay, write that down. Go. You saw me do it, now write it down. But we're not done. That's only the first 9a squared. Now we have to do the next term, the -1, times everything in the second bracket. So I'll change colors just so it'll be easier. So now we're going to take -1 times 5a. So -5a cubed. Then we take -1, take the sign, times the +6. -6. Okay, then I write it down. Now, is there anything that can combine together? No. How come, Abby? You said no.
Because the power doesn't.
Yeah, because the exponents are different. On all the a's, none of them have the same exponent. So you're done. Okay. I do not use the method FOIL. I don't do it. It means first, outer, inner, last. I don't do it. Forget it. But what I will show you to do is letter D. Okay, I'll show you one more example. They're just all the same. But on letter D, do you see how there's a negative sign in between there? So it's subtraction. Remember when we were doing this? 3 plus 4 squared. Do you think that's the same as 3 squared plus 4 squared? Really? Okay. What is 3 squared? And what is 4? So this answer is what? 25. What is 3 and 4? 7 squared. Nah, wrong. It does not work. You cannot do that ever. No. Why?
No.
Why doesn't that work?
Brackets first.
Brackets first. And you guys, there are no rules when you add. Remember? There's no, oh, if you're adding and the bases are the same, there's none of that. There are no rules when you add. So you can't do that. Okay? So this is not this. You cannot do this. If you do this, I will scream and yell, jump up and down, throw your desk. I will have a fit. You cannot do that. You can't. You'd like to see that, wouldn't you? You can't even do that. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't.
So you just
No. So all you can do is write it out twice. Okay. So there's nothing to combine inside. 6A's minus 5B's. Nothing happening. Can't do the brackets first, like we did over here in my little example with the 3 and the 4. So all you can do with this is say, I can't do anything on the inside. The little 2 does not apply to both because there's a subtraction sign. It only applies if you're multiplying. But I do know that that little square means multiply it by itself. Isn't that what it means to square something, is to multiply by itself? 3 squared is 3 times 3. So all you can do is write that bracket down again, because squaring means multiplying it by itself. Now, have you learned something today that has taught you how to multiply 2 brackets together? Come on, Jake. Yes, we have. Yes, we have. There are 2. You could get some algebra tiles out. You can work with those. You could make a little box like this if you wanted to. Color this in. You could go 6A and minus 5B. 6A and minus 5B. You could do that. Or we could do the rainbows and smiles thing. First term times everything. Okay? Which way do you want to do it? The right or the left?
Right.
You want to do the right. So over here, I would get 36A squared
So you duped it?
minus 30AB. And then I would do it again. I would go 6A times the sky, which is negative 30AB. And then I would have positive 25B squared. Same thing would happen if you did this. 6A times 6A, 36A squared. 6A times negative 5B minus 30AB. Let's do the other part. Negative 5B, negative 30AB, positive 25B squared. Final answer is 36, no matter which way you do it, minus 60AB plus 25B squared.
But Miss Sewell,
Yes.
where on earth did you get the other 6A and 5B?
Okay, because it said it was squared, Ben. That's such a good question, though. Okay, see the original?
Yeah.
See how it said square it? See how it said square it? You know that anytime something is squared, that means you actually have to multiply it by itself. So just do this and copy it down again. Okay, I'm gonna quit you. You've got some work to do. You think you can do it? Do you want to start the first one together? No, you're on it? Okay, go. Begin. We're on Polynomials, Chapter 5, Lesson 3.